after around a week, they got the result of the another empty PCR of the biopsy. So they got to know, apart from Crohn's, there is a tuberculosis is also there in the intestine.
Oh. Can you tell us a little about your journey with Crohn's disease? When you were first diagnosed, what symptoms you experienced, and how you've managed the condition since then?
The journey was quite challenging for me from the starting.
Can you share any advice or tips for people who are, facing similar challenges, what they should do and what they should know about, basically?
To people, that's the same thing I can say is like they have to believe in themselves. Like they should do what it suits them to the best.
Hello and welcome to Speaking Of, a podcast brought to you by Axios International. I'm your host Asma Ali Zain, and in this podcast, we give voice to those whose stories often go unheard. We provide a platform for patients to share their insights, perspectives, and journeys with others facing similar struggles. These are stories of hope, stories of support, and stories of healing. These are your stories. To many, Crohn's disease may not appear to be an issue that needs to be fussed about. But this chronic inflammatory bowel disease can profoundly impact a person's social, physical, and mental health. What causes Crohn's remains unknown, but the most common symptoms include diarrhea, abdominal pain, weight loss, and fever. In today's episode of Patient Stories, our guest takes us through his journey with Crohn's disease. We will speak to him about his physical symptoms and the limitations he faces daily because of his condition. We'll also explore the emotional impact of living with a chronic illness and the stress that can arise from managing a complex and unpredictable condition. Beyond the individual impact, we'll also talk about the social dimensions of Crohn's disease, including the challenges of navigating relationships, work, and social activities while managing symptoms and treatment. Welcome to Speaking Of, Alok. How are you doing today?
Hello Asma. I'm doing good. What about you?
Not bad, and thank you for joining us here on the show. Can you tell us a little about your journey with Crohn's disease? When you were first diagnosed, what symptoms you experienced, and how you've managed the condition since then?
The journey was quite challenging for me from the starting. Like kind of happy and sad phases in between, between stressing at times, several times, like in the starting mainly. But right now, once the progression is started for the medical period, whatever the diagnosis is going about and whatever the injection I'm taking about. So after that, the symptoms quite getting relaxed a bit. Since in the starting, like quite of 2 to 3 years, I faced a lot of challenges in the starting. Like with the kind of diagnosis also, because in the starting I don't know anything about this disease, anything at all. So it was generally it started in 2018 month of August. So the first symptoms I got is like a painful lump in the throat, like kind of ulcers in the tonsilliary pillar. Okay. There was quite a big of lump in the tonsilliary pillar. So I was unable to eat. So it was like that. So the condition getting worsened after that. So even though like 10 days I am unable to eat, and like it was quite challenging. And the diagnosis, I went to multiple doctors, but no one will they are giving just medicine and all, but it was not getting resolved. So I went to Hyderabad. So there I have in the local, there is a hospital called Citizen Hospital, but there they have given some medicine and it was getting stabilized after that. Okay. The ulcers in the mouth, basically.
So basically it started with the ulcers and all that.
Yeah, it started with a quite kind of like stoned ulcer in the throat, that pillar, tonsilliary pillar, kind of very stoned in the throat itself. During that period, I have a feeling of like my motion was getting like kind of leaking in the night, like kind of I could say like kind of smelling and I have no control like myself. It was static like that. Yeah. So I thought of like probably this is due to diarrhea or something else. It started like that. But once these things getting resolved, this tonsils, not tonsils, ulcers in the mouth and these things, I thought of this a general thing and it is will go away. But after 2 weeks, I can say when these things getting resolved, I have feeling of like kind of hard bump in my perineal region. So it was quite hard and like the leakage started from the perineal region. So I
this
thought,
was all this was all continuous. I mean, for the 2 weeks, it went
started
on.
from like that. Correct. Yeah, it started like from that. So during that time, I was in Mumbai. So I have gone to some local doctors. I thought of giving some painkillers, and during to that, so I thought of this is normal thing and it will go away. But the thing it burst out and pus will be coming out from that. So it became a fistula, complex fistula. So from Mumbai, I traveled to my native place in Varanasi. So there I thought, okay, everything is going fine. Only this pain is there. So I will go through some Ayurvedic medicine. So my father went take me to some Ayurvedic guy, and he has given some Ayurvedic medicine. So I gone through it around 2 to 3 weeks, but it doesn't help me. The situation getting worse and worse after that. So I was unable to walk during that period. I'm unable to like a pain of kind of very anyone has like a kind of scissor who has put in there in the region, scissors or kind of blade who has put somewhere, like that kind of feeling, very very painful kind of.
So how was it diagnosed?
This period in the Varanasi, I have spent like I don't know anything about this Crohn's disease. So my 2 months went ahead into this only. I thought that okay, there is no condition of Crohn's. I don't know anything about it. Only this fistula is there. So I went through some local doctors. He's very renowned guy. He just now got the. So I went to him, and he has he has cutted that region where the pus is coming out, and it was like kind of a small operation of small like 20 to 30 minutes, and kind of a ball of pus coming out of it. Like it was kind of very hard, and that's why that the painful was there during that period.
Yeah.
So, but even this doesn't help me, and this motion that during that period, the 2 months of period I'm telling about, I have no control of my emotion. Like in this multiple times, it came out anytime, like 5 to 6 times in a day, every time. Even I don't have any feeling of eating, not much, like very anemic person, like kind of very no energy at all during this time. 2 to 3 months from the August till October, I can say. So during that period, so my sister called me to come to Hyderabad. The things they started with this colonoscopy and endoscopy. So the diagnosis happened from there. It started like they found the actual reason why this is like the fistula is not the problem. The problem is something else, and they have through biopsy and MT-PCR of the biopsy and all. So they got to know this is first thing is the ulcers and all is there in the region, in the whole colon region, ileum and large intestine and all bowels. The ulcers and everything is there. So after around a week, they got the result of another MT-PCR of the biopsy. So they got to know apart from Crohn's, there is a tuberculosis is also there in the intestine. So so doctor told me there's a kind of like they don't know whether the tuberculosis has mimicked the Crohn's disease or so they will not aggressively start the treatment for Crohn's disease. So they will first treat the tuberculosis. So I have started this injection. The medicine for tuberculosis in the November month. So I started that, and they parallelly did the operation like for the fistula also. So they don't want to start any aggressive injections and all, because the tuberculosis is there in the background, and they don't want any infection to get reproduced more because of the fistula. So they put the draining ceton in the region.
I see.
Two draining ceton. Yeah. So they told me just go through this medicine first, get it resolved. So from the November 2018 till 2019 around September end, I took the 10 months of medicine for the tuberculosis. These things get resolved. So they did the fistulectomy of the first the track of the fistula, and for the second track they put the cutting ceton. So they told me you have taken enough medicine for the tuberculosis, so let's wait and let's see the things how the progression will go ahead from here to now onwards.
So Alok, you are just 31, right? And until 31 years, you had no other symptoms. It just suddenly happened overnight,
Yes,
it was like that.
Not an overnight. I can say around in the starting it was 1 week. The challenges started.
So there's no one else in your family who has it, or is it a genetic? Did the doctors explain to you how it comes?
No, there is no explanation they have given to me. But the thing is, my family, I've seen like my brother has tumor in his abdomen region.
Oh, okay.
Like some 20 years back. Yeah, kind of 20 years back. Yeah.
So we're not actually sure because it's genetic or not.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not sure about this is genetic because no one has this symptoms and all in my family tree.
So you have taken us through your journey, but again, just to ask you briefly, like what has been the most challenging aspect of living with Crohn so far, physically and emotionally both?
Physically, I can say like right now I'm okay. Everything is going fine. But in the starting, I felt very like weakened kind of very system for the 2 to 3 years. I felt very weakened. My hormonal imbalance is there in that system.
Oh, okay.
I don't feel to get it work, or I feel very non-energetic kind of those feeling is there. This is physically that I felt. And the mentally is everything is there. Mentally, physically is the one aspect. You can't walk and you don't have anything energetic to work.
You work, right? It might have impacted your job as well.
Yes, definitely. I took a leave around 1 + 5 years of leave without pay. But mentally, I can say I feel very alone at times. I feel very sad, and there is no talking to, even though if you have a family in the back, but I don't feel to talk to any of my friends. Like I'd been cut out from everyone, like I can say.
Until you got a complete explanation of what exactly is happening to you, you might have been confused as well, right?
Yes, definitely. I kind of feeling like what will happen in the future, and this will trouble in your mind. Something will like always there'll be a problem, like how the things will go on. Yeah, but at times when the things will getting resolved by one, so you will feel better. You feel happy. You will do some changes in your own lifestyle. You do some what the things will improve your this. So I got to know what the challenges I can resolve from my side. So I did those changes in later, but after 2 to 3 years, from 2021, I did some changes in my lifestyle. So
that is what I was going to ask you also. Like the doctor must have recommended lifestyle changing, your eating habits, maybe you're more physically active.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So just to ask you also, you are enrolled in an Axios patient assistant program, right? So how did you find out about Axios, and in what ways has the program helped you?
From the hospital only I got to know about this program, because the work which I did like the IT job, I don't have a very strong financial background, kind of like I can say middle class family. So I was unable to cope up everything the taking the injection of very costly. So if some help will be there, definitely it will a plus point for the financial task. Like the family burden, financial burden will be going to be less.
So how long have you been part of the program?
This was my second year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how is it
I had started in March 2021. And this is going to be around almost 2 years completed. Total 15 doses I have taken with the help of this program. So around 7 doses I got free vials, around 8 I have paid. Yeah. So they're being quite supportive from this acceptance program. So it quite helped a lot to me. Yeah.
That's a great thing to hear. So other than the financial assistance, is there any other support the program gave you? You were just saying, mentally you felt alone. Was there someone to talk to from Axios, the PAP program?
I did quite of changes in my lifestyle habits only.
Okay.
So from doing the kind of involving the meditation practices every day, before sunrise, and there is a pranahoti meditation. So I started with that, and in following through evening cleaning program and doing the prayer in the night bedtime prayer and all these things are processes there. So I joined that meditation program around 2 years back. So this aspect quite helped a lot during the understanding and how you feel and how you should be, what is the goal of the purpose to be happy in the life, right? So you should not don't care much about the environments. You just focus on your the good behavior, and the happiness will directly fall for you. So these are the things
I agree. So in this entire journey of yours, I'm sure that you have also, meditation, you have also adjusted with the diet and nutrition in managing your disease.
Yes.
So
food management, I can say.
Yeah. Is there any particular food or dietary changes that have been helpful?
Yes, from the diagnosis, from the starting only 2018 only, I have started this whatever they have suggested, the doctors and all, the dietitian, what foods it will help. They have given a kind of list, so you should follow these particular things. But from my aspect, I have cut a lot of many things which is not suited to me, because the things which I told you till 2019 is a half part. After that, several times the relapse happens, 3 to 4 times. Yeah. The period was 6 months. It was quite happy, and again the symptoms came. Again I went to the hospital. Again this fistula pain and all, everything is there. Multiple times I had to go through this period. So by cutting down the things which suit to your body, in the starting I don't know about what particularly to eat. I eaten mango fruits and everything, but it doesn't help to my system. So I got on you have to try different thing in small chunks. So at the next day only you'll got to know, oh, this suited you, so you should focus on this eating food, and you should eat, because this disease is generally mainly focused on the intestine part. So your intestine getting weakened. So to weaken system, you should eat that particular food which is very easy to digest.
Right.
So the intestine doesn't have to work much thing to process the system. At least at that part, till that your body gets normal and getting suited to your intestine getting healed. So you should eat that thing which is very easy to digest.
So tell me, Alok, did the doctors tell you, is this a lifelong condition, or is there any hope for cure? What exactly is it?
The doctor told me it's a lifelong condition, but you have to manage. If you manage it well, then definitely there will be a very easy. You don't have to, but it will be a person to person wise. It will be different. You can't generalize the things. For some person.
Sorry. So if I ask you, looking back on your experience of the past 3 years, 4 years, is there anything you wish you had known or done differently when you were first diagnosed?
If I know this thing from earlier, then, because in the starting only I faced a lot of challenges. Finding the doctor is the main concern. If the person doesn't know at which source he has to go, then definitely he'll be diverted. So only these challenges I can say this I felt. Even this starting 3 months, if I know, okay, this is the symptoms, and but we went ahead into a wrong direction. So our starting 3 months getting a painful journey, which I can say. But if the person, it's a general for everyone. If you're feeling some symptoms, and you should go to the correct direction, and corrected guidance should be given from the family or from your surrounding. You should have to know, okay, this is the thing, and you have to follow this approach.
So basically, you found
get
it a bit
resolved.
of challenging to, navigate the healthcare system
Diagnosis,
and find
correct.
support.
Yes, correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Because there is no
yeah.
knowledge of this Crohn's disease. I don't know anything about IBD, Crohn's disease, whatever this is there in. Even I don't know. I don't know about
I
that
understand.
during that
I
time.
can relate to that, and I'm sure that many of our listeners can relate to
Yes.
what you're talking about. So, can you share any advice or tips for people who are facing similar challenges? What they should do and what they should know about, basically?
To people, that's the same thing I can say is like they have to believe in themselves. Like they should do what it suits them to the best, and they should actually this disease is actually it will force you to anger. It like some kind of anger will come to you, like frustration and anger. So you have to eliminate the internal anger from your body.
So basically, you
And
have to
always,
listen to your body as well.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That is how it is. So, also asking you, Alok, is there anything specific that you would like to share with all others? I know this is the advice and tips I was asking about, but any message like you would want to share with people with Crohn's disease or maybe others with chronic illnesses?
Only one thing I can say, like people just have to like get engaged in some meaningful task. Like so they should not like think always about the disease, whatever they are facing. They should be joyous and happy always. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much, Alok, for your time. Living with Crohn's is challenging. We hope this conversation will provide insight and support to those facing similar challenges. We also hope that Alok's journey and resilience will inspire empathy, understanding, and compassion for all those impacted by this chronic disease. As an access to healthcare company, Axios International provides complete support that a patient would need at any point in their journey. We also want to encourage listeners to continue seeking out stories and perspectives from those living with such diseases. Only through empathy and understanding can we truly support and uplift one another. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Tune in for another inspiring patient journey brought to you by Axios International. We also want to hear from you. Reach out to us on social media with your thoughts and comments. Until next time.
Axios, transforming access to healthcare.